नमस्कार मेरे सुनने वालों को, मेरे अपनों को। लास्ट ईयर पिछले साल मैंने आपसे बात की थी, रादर कहूँगा कि करवाई थी, मिस्टर जैक से, हु इज़ इन माय ओपिनियन एन एनवायरनमेंटलिस्ट। एक जो हमारा पर्यावरण है उसकी वो बात करते हैं और उसी के बारे में काम करते हैं। उसके लिए वो बहुत से, उनका पैशन है, वो उनकी प्रतिबद्धता है। मैं आज देख रहा हूँ, पिछले साल जब यहाँ थे तो सिर्फ एक टेंट सा लगा हुआ था, छोटा सा, और इसी तरह ये अपनी कार में आए थे। लेकिन आज देख रहा हूँ मैं कि बहुत से व्हील बैरो और यानी हाथ से खींचने वाली वो जो छोटी सी रेहड़ी होती है, और ये सब इक्विपमेंट है जो खेती बाड़ी में जो काम आने वाले औजार हैं, वो ये सब हैं छोटे छोटे। आसपास थोड़ी सी धरती को कुछ किया गया है, तो इस सब के बारे में मैं जैक से फिर एक बार बात करूँगा, और मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप इसे रुचिपूर्ण पाएंगे, आपको अच्छी लगेगी, आपका इसके बारे में जानने का और ज़्यादा जिज्ञासा पैदा होगी, उत्साह होगा। तो लेट मी टॉक टू जैक। Jack, hello, and welcome to my conversation.
Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Well, thank you very much. I just want to know today, because when I came here and you were busy with the school children, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was so overwhelming, that show your passion, and it's so important to invest in the coming generation, generation next, because whatever we are, I believe that a major chunk of that is what our ancestors, what our parents, teachers taught us. And then of course we had our own filters, and we saw that what is to be carried on, what is not to be carried on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We get to make those decisions too.
That's right. So I hope that you really enjoy talking to them, and under this dictum, under this philosophy that you have to talk to the generation next.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're a great club. So it's called 4-H. And 4-H was originally like a rural agriculture club to get kids into agriculture and farming and environmental issues. But this group has started like a city version. And so they introduce kids to growing, and they'll go out of the city to ride horses and things like that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They go down and do all sorts of different activities, and yeah, it's like kind of like an agricultural camp for kids in the summer. And it never ceases to amaze me how smart kids are and how much they learn and how much they know.
Yeah.
And we were doing they were discovering things in my garden that I didn't know, that I hadn't seen before. We found bugs I've never seen before. We're looking it up with AI and on our phones and trying to figure out things. And I've always said that I treat kids like adults and like adults like kids.
That's right.
And that gets me really far ahead. But
right.
The kids are very smart. It was a great group today, and yeah, we did a lot. We're only having an hour or so together, so it was very impressive. It was a fun day.
Have you heard about Khalil Gibran? He was a philosopher.
The name
From
sounds
Arab
familiar.
country.
I don't know him well though.
Yeah. So he talked about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He said there are elders. There was a poem in which he mentioned it, that because they come after us, so they're fresh, so they know better. They will know better.
Totally.
So because we are getting older, so they're coming up. So that kind of philosophy, which you talked.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
And it's clear. I mean, most of the kids were like under the age 11. And still, I was having conversations about almost every aspect of the farm, and they were understanding and having a dialogue. And yeah, it's
So
I'm about to turn 40, and I forget how smart the 10-year-olds are.
That's right. So you're going to 40. You don't look like.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's coming fast here. Yeah, it's coming fast. I feel it.
But you're lean. You're not put on any extra weight or something like that.
No, I mean my parents taught me to take care of my body, and that would go far. So I try to live up to that every
That's
day.
good.
But
That's good.
yeah, having farming and all that being outside really helps for sure.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah,
That
for
helps.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. Because you put in a lot of toil into
Yes,
it. Yeah.
exactly right. We try to have some fun, but it is definitely toil some days. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what happened in the last year? What did you achieve?
yeah.
And what you really did?
Oh man, great question.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest achievement that we had to start was that we're now moved through most of our permits. And so the biggest thing kind of holding us back from being able to do more of the plan was still wrestling with the city about the legal aspects of what we were allowed to do and getting things like our development permit. The development permit is kind of the permit that sets the tone and sets the foundation for all the work to be done. And so that's the one that they look closest at. And so that took us 10 months, I think, of negotiations and things.
My
whereas
God.
oftentimes, even to build a skyscraper or a development permit might only be 6 months. And so, it was because this is the fourth farm I built in Calgary, we thought it was going to be a little quicker, and it actually, because it's a unique opportunity, it actually took longer. And so that was it took a lot of work all winter, back and forth, lots of conversations, lots of email. But we finally got it in March this year. And so that now we had like a map and permission to go and start to build some gardens and things. The next kind of step on the permits was building permits. So for our storage containers, for our pergolas, for our greenhouse, and we just got the first of our building permits last week. So that kind of is the complete cycle then of doing permits, and now we can actually just build things, which is amazing. We're so happy for that. But in the meantime, since we were able to get the development permit, we were able to start building the garden beds like you see behind you there. And so that meant that we could actually start putting in our rows where we're going to do like our real production. So like market garden, so nice, neat, straight rows of flowers and vegetables, and really high production and lots of like drip irrigation and things like that. So we were able to start on those and put some plants in the ground. In our shrubby shelter belt, which is more focused on native plants, berries and raspberries and saskatoons and native flowers and things. We planted most of that last year, but this year we were able to start to tend to it, and we didn't do any watering, but already we have probably 20 to 30 different species of wildflowers coming up and blooming this year. And so we really got to enjoy them and see what was coming up and learn how did we plant, did that work, what didn't work, what are we growing, what's not growing, all that kind of stuff. So that's been really exciting to see that in there. To see all the insects and the native bees and everything on the flowers has been quite incredible. So that's really been fun. And we've continued to, I'm sure as the viewers can see, harvest a lot of wood chips for our soil. And so we're starting to see the benefit of that. Everywhere where we pull back the wood chips, the ground is moist and cool, and we see worms and insects, and it's much easier to dig and plant things. And so it's really been able to validate our planting system and where all the beds are going to go, and that using all this mulch is a really good idea.
Yeah, because I was just wondering that why this commercial waste is here and there.
Yes.
So that's the point.
Yep.
So it is making for the bed. It's bedding.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and because we had such heavy rain in the spring,
Yeah.
a lot of these wood chips where we spread them, you can see down below, it's already starting to compost and decompose and turn into soil almost.
Yeah.
And so we only come in with a little bit of clean soil on top, but all that wood chip underneath is perfect for roots to go down into. It stays moist and cool, and we'll be putting a lot of compost tea and things like that,
Okay.
because wood chips are more carbon than nitrogen.
That's right.
And so our plants and things will need more nitrogen. So we do a lot of that through compost and compost tea. And that will eventually filter down into the wood chips and keep it breaking down even more.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so we actually, instead of building the soil down, we actually build the soil up.
Up. Yeah.
And that's how we create it. And it's a lot easier. And the city is concerned about us growing food in the soil here. For some reason, we did soil testing. There's nothing of concern. Some areas were a little salty, which is to be expected, but no other concerns. But the city wanted us to put down plastic everywhere and bring in new soil, and we said no, we're not bringing in plastic. Like, we're not.
Okay.
2 acres of plastic is ridiculous. So we got them to agree to do wood chips instead. And then by the time any of our plant roots get down to the original soil, we've kind of remediated.
So you
up to
mean
the
that
city.
they were not aware of that plastic is really not good?
They see it as a preventative measure, that if there's any contamination in the soil, that we can grow in clean topsoil and there's no issues. But no, they don't really have the understanding that all that
Yeah.
plastic is going to break down and put microplastics and, I mean, potentially PFAS. If you know, PFAS is all the forever chemicals.
Okay.
Often those will leach out of plastic, and those are way more mobile in the soil. They could actually be taken up by roots quite easily.
Okay.
And so we think this is a much better system, using organic matter, using wood chips and leaves and needles and plant roots and all that kind of stuff. You do that in a natural way instead, and smother
Like
out all
like
the
a
grass.
true environmentalist,
Yes.
you didn't go for the fast track. You didn't go for the, you know.
Absolutely. We want to use
Yeah,
nature
yeah,
systems
yeah,
and work
yeah.
with nature.
Quick
and-
fix, no quick fix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I mean, you know, it allows us to also mulch out all these weeds and things. You know, there's a lot of quackgrass. There's something called Sicer milk vetch here. A lot of plants that were brought over for cows to graze, but now are just everywhere because they outcompete a lot of the native plants. And so those would outcompete vegetables and things. And so by being able to smother those out with the organic material, it allows us to have a nice, neat, clean, weed-free garden beds to start, which is super handy. Then we have to do less work.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. So I was just thinking, and I think my thinking was right, that you have started growing here something, and this bed has come up, this
Yes,
flower
sir.
bed, yeah?
Yep. Yeah. So we had a couple of friends who are urban farmers start some plant for us. We started a few in our little backyard nursery. So now we've got onions. We've got flowers like zinnias. There's ones called they're called coral something that are used for bouquets. We planted some squash and zucchini, some beans,
My God.
some peas, sunflowers, and that's just all in 3 rows.
So a lot of food, a lot of flowers.
Correct. And we
Yeah.
like, those are our kind of focus, is food and flowers. And so
Yeah.
we want to do a lot of that. You know, it's a lot of people say it's quite late in the season, which it is, but we're also going to be doing a lot of things from seed so that we can harvest in the fall and later. A lot of things can handle the cold later. So if we plant kale, things like that now, they like the warmth to get started. And then once they're a little bigger, they like the cool nights. So in September, October, the cool nights will really help them flourish.
Other than this land, could you get some other land also to develop? Yeah,
Yeah, that's the goal.
side by side.
That's the goal. Is we'd like to have 2 or 3 other farms. Calgary is broken up into quadrants,
Yeah, that's right.
and so we'd like to have one in each quadrant in the next kind of 2 or 3 years.
So do you have already in some quadrant? No,
This is the only one.
first.
We've been
Okay.
been so much work just to get this one started that we haven't had chance. But our members are looking. Our funding partners are looking for other sites for us.
Okay.
And we know strategically for us, because all of our projects are usually going to be temporary, if we ever have to leave here, it'd be helpful to have another site we can pick everything up and have an instant farm somewhere else.
I was reading some placard here which said that this site is kept for some school.
Yes, sir.
What was that? I mean, when that will come up? Or
Yeah.
how? I mean, that site is not your inclusive land or what? What is the?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what is that?
Sure. So when Calgary's neighborhoods get built the first time, the city sets aside about 10% of the land for, it's called municipal and school reserve. And so they set land aside for future schools. When the houses are built, families start moving in. Hey, we need new schools. We need new elementary school, new junior high, new high schools. But they set aside more land for that than is needed. And
Okay.
so oftentimes not every site gets a school. And so this site, even though it's set aside for a school, they
Yeah.
haven't needed it yet. There hasn't been enough students.
Okay.
And so it's been sitting empty for almost 30 years.
My goodness.
And so the community has tried to do other things with it in the past, but it's never really gone anywhere. And so when we started exploring the opportunity, because our group discovered that there can be more than 100 of these empty school sites in the city at a time, each one is at least 5 acres big. That's 500 acres of the city that's just grass, that's not doing anything, that could be something more interesting, more productive, better for the community. And like, you know, you can see around here, there's already lots of fields for soccer and football for kids to play.
Yeah, I can
You know,
see, yeah.
we would never,
Yeah.
we would never set up anywhere that's already being used for soccer. And like this field was just, there was nobody using it.
Yeah.
And so we thought it was an awesome opportunity to set up a garden. And
So the general impression here in Calgary is
yeah,
that this government departments, I don't know whether I should say red tapeism or not.
yes.
Should I? I mean, so it takes a lot of time, or it takes longer, or what? What is that? They don't work, or they work slow, or what?
Yeah, you know, so we're the first community group that's ever been given access to one of these properties totally. And so for the city, it was it was a new project. And I think like most people understand, government are usually risk averse. They
Okay.
don't like taking on risk. And so anything that's new,
But that's good, I believe. I mean,
it's good in general. We don't want our cities doing things
Yeah.
that are risky. That's
Yeah.
our tax money and our land and our
yeah,
city. So it's
yeah.
good. But oftentimes they are more careful than they need to be. But
Okay.
it's just because they don't have a system built. If we were to build a condo or a community center or
Yeah.
something, there's a process for that.
That's right.
They don't have a process for building an urban farm on a school site. There was no process. And so one of the things that we're doing is helping them create the process as we go through it.
Okay.
And so while it takes longer, we're happy in that the next one should be easier.
That's right.
And if other community groups want to do something similar,
right.
they'll have an easier time getting started. And so we're we call it the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
So we start and then everybody
That's
behind
right.
has a little
So I
bit
should take
easier
it like
time.
you were the pioneer. So initially, it takes time.
For sure. Yeah. And we knew it was going to take time, because we'd done this similar things before. We thought it could be less, but to be fair to the city, every person we talk to is very helpful.
That's
They
right.
love the idea.
Yeah.
They want to help. They're
Yeah.
trying to move it forward.
Yeah.
Often is the problem is the structure, the checklist,
Yeah.
the structure, all of those things take time. And when you don't fit into a nice, neat box, that's what takes time for them to sort out and figure out. And, hilariously, some of the departments at the city don't talk to each other very much. They don't work together well. And so you might do one thing with one department really quickly, and then the next department is like, kind of grumble.
Sluggish,
and,
yeah.
we're not sure. We got to talk, and things take time. So there was nobody that was actually trying to stop us. It was just such a new, unique project, and so many different people we had to talk to.
So do
that
you
it took
think
more
that there
time.
should be a coordinator amongst the departments?
Yeah. Well, so interestingly, we actually got funding to do a research project about just that question. About, hey, there's this huge opportunity. So many people know about these locations of school sites, and yet no one's been able to build on them. Like, why is that? And so we interviewed developers, we interviewed the city, we interviewed school boards, and the Parks Department, and almost everybody said exactly that. Like, if there should be some sort of a coordinator and someone that can help groups walk through this process, because they need someone that can kind of see all the pieces and understand all the different departments of the city and how that works. And so that's going to be one of our recommendations back to the city, is there would be other people who are willing to put in time and energy and money into making their communities better, but they're just community folks. They're not developers. They don't have the expertise to go through
That's right.
the pipeline.
That's
Somebody at the city, though, could easily hold their hand through the process and let them do the work, but let the city help them do all the steps necessary to get there.
As you're talking, that seems that city is in the safe hands. If people welcomed you,
Yes.
they are thoughtful, they are thinking heads.
Yeah.
So that means, the coming times, as far as the environment is concerned,
Yeah.
city is safe.
For
Am I
sure.
right?
Absolutely. And there's, talk about the generations. There's a whole new generation of young people coming up into different departments that have a much more progressive view about how the city can not only work for people, but work for the environment. And so there's a lot of, there's more interesting projects, and there's people that are willing to put time and energy into that in their day-to-day job.
That's good.
To make those things happen. And you know, some of our members at Vacant Lots Farm Club also work for the city, and they're doing incredible work naturalizing spaces in parks and doing a much better job for biodiversity and stormwater and all these things. And so we feel like we're much more a part of a community of those folks. And yeah, it's really fun to meet all sorts of people at the city who are really interested in what we're doing and want to see more of it. And you know, partners that we have also partner with the city on different projects. And so, you know, even among us, we're creating this ecosystem of the city and contractors and community groups, and you know, it feels much more like a community that way, which is really, it's more fun to do it together, you know.
I'm so overwhelmed to see John,
Yeah.
because his enthusiasm is, I think, infectious. He's the same spirit what he was last year.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Trying to be consistent, you know.
Yeah.
No, and we just love this work. And you know, like we said, we had 15 kids under the age of 12 out here today, and they get it. And then last weekend, I had 6 people over the age of 60, and they get it. And then I'm 40, and I get it. And so, age, demographic, background, so many
the
people.
whole spectrum is there.
Totally. People who are immigrants, people who have been here for generations, like everybody has a connection to this kind of work. And yeah, it's really, you know, it's easy for me to keep my enthusiasm.
You know, this conversation which we are doing is very significant to me, particularly because, as you know, that Calgary, as far as Canada is concerned, the whole Canada is made of immigrants, you know, the people, those who came from different communities and all that. And I know that our communities which came to Canada, many of them are not very much, you know, aware of the environment. You know, so it's very, very important to, you know, do this conversation so that they also, because they are going to be part of the city, part of this country, they also should be aware of all this. And back my country also, if somebody is listening this, I think they also should think about it, ponder over it, and do whatever possibly they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and you know, I think it's only in the last maybe generation or two for some of us that this kind of activity, this kind of work was not like a daily thing. You know, for a lot of us, our grandparents, everybody had a garden. You know, you wouldn't grow all your food, but everybody had a garden or some animals, or you had a neighbor who they helped. It was more tangible. It's only for me, it was my parents who were the first ones that didn't have that daily
Farming
work.
was the first occupation.
100%. And so there's a lot of people that even if they don't know it, they go, oh, I remember spending time in my grandma's garden. Oh, I remember spending time with my uncle. I remember spending time with those people. And so even if they don't have the direct experience, they have some connection still that we can have that conversation, and it's they care about it. And they go, oh, I remember someone in my life who really cared, and that inspired me. And it's rare I meet someone who doesn't have that story. Talk about some food they remember, talk about some time they spent with someone they loved outside. Like, it's very rare where you meet somebody who's like only in cities, has no exposure to it. Like, most people have some kind of a story there. And that's such an easy way to connect with people.
I'm happy that children have got songs over this.
Yeah.
You know, farm songs and all that. Yeah. McDonald. And, you know,
right, I know.
You know.
I think we need some new ones. I don't know many, but I think we need new ones. You know?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, you know, I think a lot of other cultures work in the field, and music and song kind of come to, you know, like that's how you get through the day, is to sing and be together.
But I think this Generation Z, what we call?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Even Gen Alpha now. I think we're even at the next,
yeah. I think you should talk to them.
Yeah.
They may make some song on this urban land development.
That's a great idea. I love that. Yeah. We need our songs. We need our stories and songs and dances and. No, it's great because that's, you know, like human beings are rhythm and song and dance and work, and it's all together, you know, using your body as your tool. Yeah, I love that.
मैं अपने सुनने वालों को बताता चलूं कि वेकेंट अर्बन लैंड यानी शहर में ऐसी जगहें जहां कुछ भी नहीं है और बिल्कुल वेस्ट लैंड है, खाली जगह है और वहाँ पे मच्छर पैदा होते हैं और घास होती है, और वो उसका भी फिर देख रेख करने के लिए यहाँ की कॉरपोरेशन को, म्यूनसिपैलिटी को पैसे खर्च करने पड़ते हैं और कोई प्रोडक्टिविटी नहीं है उसके। ये सब इन चीज़ों को, जैसे जैक ने बताया कि यहाँ पे कम से कम 500 एकड़ ऐसी लैंड है जो कभी रखी गई थी किन्हीं स्कूलों या किन्हीं और चीज़ों के लिए, लेकिन उस पर कुछ नहीं हुआ कितने ही साल। जैसे इस जगह पे 30 साल से कोई स्कूल नहीं बना, जबकि ये स्कूल के लिए रखी गई थी। हालांकि जब ये शहर विकसित हो रहा था, व्हेन द सिटी वाज गेटिंग डेवलप्ड, सो लॉट ऑफ लैंड वाज केप्ट फॉर सर्टेन डेवलप्ड और डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स। सो तो इनको लगा, इनकी एक स्टडी थी, हालांकि जैक यूनिवर्सिटी में रहे हैं, इनका पिछली बार हमने बात की थी कैसे इसका इंटरेस्ट हुआ कि इतनी जगह जो फालतू पड़ी है शहर की, उसको कैसे इस्तेमाल किया जाए, हाउ दे शुड यूटिलाइज्ड फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ द ह्यूमन बींग्स this land. So this is how he did it, and I should say you have done it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we didn't do it alone, you know. We had a lot of help.
That's
we have
right,
a lot of
that's right.
members. We have a lot of people.
Congratulations to your team also.
Thank you so much. I'll
And,
pass that along.
yeah.
No, and folks like yourself coming out and having these conversations, like, that's how we know we're doing the right thing and going in the right direction, is because people come talk to us and say, we love your idea, we love where you're going, we can't wait to see, you know, like that gives us energy to be able to keep doing the work and move it forward. And so it's been really fun to be able to have all these conversations with people.
Jack, actually my interest is always, which is the interest of the community. I go beyond, you know, self.
Yes.
Last time we talked about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, yeah.
Thinking beyond just our own selfish interests.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good one because I know your audience. Anybody who doesn't know Rajendra Singh, who's known as the Waterman of India.
That's right.
That would be somebody, you know, if you want to do something, if you're in India right now, you want to look up someone who's an inspiration, who's doing something at a much bigger scale. We, you know, people in Canada inspired by India, inspired by all the way around the world. And
thank you very much.
We try to take those lessons and apply them where we live here, but it's so great to know that there are other people doing it where they live and doing amazing work.
He's written a wonderful book on that water conversation.
I don't have that book. I should get it.
So water conservation, and that's in Hindi. That's in our own language.
Yes, I've seen a bunch of videos of him and heard a lot of the stories, and it's super inspirational. I mean, you know, I really imagine I think the Rocky Mountains are going to have similar problems to his area of North India in the next 20 to 50 years as the glaciers dry up, the rivers go. I think we might have to learn a lot from places like that.
There are small voices in our country, those who are talking about it.
Yes.
But I think, I mean, they're not being heard.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's so sad.
Yeah.
But those are very important for the coming generations.
Yes. I think
we had in certain areas, certain, you know, floods, and those were uncalled for.
Yes, exactly. It's like we've made the conditions to make it flood or drought. And instead it could be in the middle, nice and more where it was.
But anyway, I think this small effort of mine and your bigger effort will, you know, create some ripple somewhere.
Absolutely, I hope so.
Thank you very much
Thank
talking
you.
to us. Thank you.